using AI agents, having a digital workforce. There are people already who are using AI agent building platforms like N8N to automate the entire function of a marketing team. Instantly, you're saving that company hundreds of hours a month in admin time. It's not about AI necessarily doing it all for you, it's about helping you get there faster. 80 or 90% of that time can be saved from that task.
What's next for AI? For people who don't know what AI agents are, because that seems to be part of the way things are going, what is AI agents?
AI agents is a piece of software that leverages your data and the processes that you ask it to complete to automate a task that previously only humans have been able to do. So Perplexity, ChatGPT, yes, they're AI assistants, but they can also be agents in the sense that they can complete multi-step workflows. And then you've got kind of no-code or low-code builders like N8N or Mind Studio or Zapier that allow you to connect in data sources. So it might be your data, it might be data from machinery, it might be data from your email. It's coming into an agent that's then doing something with that. So it's reading your emails, and then it's going to help you plan for the next week. And so it's then the output of that is going to be a to-do list or a task list, something like that previously only humans could do. So these agents now are going to become, digital colleagues that, people will have many of these digital workers doing tasks for them to free them up to do the things that AI is not that good at: the EQ, the relationship building, the hustle, going out and building partnerships.
So when you say data, what does that really mean? What do people need to understand when you talk about data?
Yeah, so data is not just what's sitting in your CRM or your financial records in spreadsheets. Data is what your email account, your file storage, any sort of information that you have that can help an AI system learn about you or contextualize or understand something to be able to produce some new content to be able to do something with.
So if we just sort of take a step back now, and you as one of the AI experts in New Zealand can tell me what is really coming to New Zealand, what has arrived here now, and what is to come, so that people have an idea of where is this technology, how is this technology going at the moment?
So throughout New Zealand, most of the reports indicate that most companies in New Zealand are using AI in some way, which might be they're experimenting with ChatGPT, an AI assistant. But the actual adoption of AI is much, much lower than we hoped, and is certainly behind many other countries around the world. And by adoption, I mean actual integration into our workflows. So it's not just someone going, hey, could I muck around with ChatGPT to try and draft this email or do this report? It's actually integrated into everyday activity. And so that's where we really want to get to see the ROI and to be able to get that productivity uplift, that generate that capacity for growth, is we need that integration done. So we've got to start there. So most companies will start with an AI assistant like ChatGPT or look to an AI for business productivity tool like Google Gemini or Microsoft Copilot, which is integrated within those ecosystems. And so they provide a more secure place for people to be able to work and use company documents and customer data with AI within their tenancies. And so that's a really great place for people to start. And then we've got a growing industry of AI tech being built in New Zealand, AI for business tools that have been designed and made right here in New Zealand for SMBs, for enterprises that want to scale generative AI across their business securely.
And the question I was thinking about now is like, how do people know what tool to use? There's so many tools out there now.
That's pretty much the main question that I get asked all day, every day is what tools should we be using and why? And so that's, we help people figure out what are the different use cases that they have, what's the technical capability within their business.
Could you give me an example of a recent time that you've had a chat with somebody and maybe you've helped them sort of like the thinking process, the questions you've asked and the problem that they've had and then the solution that they've had to have?
Yeah, so we were working with a property maintenance company and so they have a whole lot of contractors around the country that are going in and fixing things at residential properties. Those contractors have to remember to put the right job code on their invoice in order to get paid on time. The property maintenance company has 2,000 job codes. So as you can imagine, the back office staff at the property maintenance company have all of this extra admin going through checking all of the job paperwork coming through to check that it's the right code. So that just slows business down. It's unproductive time. So we can create a spreadsheet, can be in SharePoint, wherever we want it to be. We can create an AI agent or a chatbot that's deployed to Microsoft Teams or WhatsApp, and using voice in whichever language or text, the contractors can say, what's the job code for installing a hot water cylinder? And the agent will come back and say, is it gas or electric hot water cylinder? It's gas. Okay, here's the job code, and here is the health and safety protocol to make sure that you're installing a gas water cylinder correctly. So you can kill two birds with one stone and make sure that you're increasing compliance for good working practice as well as getting the right job code. So instantly you're saving that company hundreds of hours a month in admin time.
And that's profound, isn't it? Because that's what we want. The up and coming entrepreneur listening going, I have no clue where to start. And perhaps, like for me personally, I've been hearing a lot about AI and keeping in touch with what's going on. And there's people out there who are creating the tools. There are people out there who are creating the workflows to make sure that the processes are smooth for companies to do their jobs. The question is, do I really need AI right now if I'm a startup? If I'm a 25-year-old male who is
if you want to compete, if you want to have any chance of competing, yes. And if you don't, then it's going to be slower for you to go to market. It's going to be, you're going to have to hire more people. So you're going to be looking at having more human resource on. And you're going to need a lot more support wrapped around you to do it. So it's going to be more expensive for you to grow your business than someone else coming in with exactly the same product or service using AI. They'll be able to do it for half the cost. They'll be able to grow exponentially more with the same amount of resource than you'll be able to do it. You just will not be able to compete without collaborating and working with AI.
Quick one. Mina here. Thank you for watching this episode. I appreciate you. Thank you for all your support. One thing that you can do for me is to please hit the subscribe button below. I promise you that if you hit subscribe, I'm going to work hard to make sure that my episodes are really good, that will get better and better. So, do we have a deal? Okay, back to the episode. In terms of the practical advice on those who've never touched AI? If someone listening now going, I've never had anything to do with it, I don't know where to start.
Love this question.
Yes, especially people who, confused about the how, why, where, when of AI. We're talking about maybe the next generation. Even people in my generation have got no clue. Well,
people in every generation. There are some people who struggle with it. They think that AI is some crazy, complex thing that they have to become a prompt engineer to be able to use, which of course is just not true, right? The big difference with most of these AI tools compared to what we've had to learn in the past is, ChatGPT can teach you how to use ChatGPT, whereas Microsoft Outlook ain't teaching you how to use email, right? So someone's got to show you, you've got to learn. With ChatGPT, and the best thing to do for anyone who's new to these AI tools, and you can do this for free on any of the platforms, is go into ChatGPT and just write a prompt and say, you're an AI expert. I want you to help me figure out 2 obvious and 2 non-obvious ways that I can use AI in my work. Ask me 1 question at a time to figure it out, right? And so you're giving it a role, a task, an output, 1 question at a time. That's really cool. And just let it play out. And it will just take you through this journey of probably 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. And then it will come back to you with some good ways, right? And then just keep going. And so, so how do I use it in my meetings? What's the best note taker? How do I manage my data privacy? How do I create tasks out of the action items in the meetings? How do I create a statement of work out of the information the client just shared with me in that meeting? How do I draft a proposal from the information that we just discussed with that potential new client? Let the AI tell you and collaborate with you to help you solve the problem. It's not about AI necessarily doing it all for you. It's about helping you get there faster.
So we did talk about the different tools. People can use ChatGPT to practice all these things and type all these things up. There's Notebook LM or LLM. I don't know if it's LLM.
Notebook LM is a fantastic tool. It's free. You can pay for it, but you get 50 sources for free. It's part of your Google suite.
But there's like Gemini. There's all these other tools.
Gemini is.
Can you run me through the main ones?
Yep.
I was reading an article the other day, and it was a really nice article explaining those main ones and the differences.
Yep.
So I would like to pass this on to the listeners and viewers, the main ones and their users, and give them a bit of a guidelines on how to use them.
Okay.
Starting with ChatGPT.
So ChatGPT, free and paid option. Paid option with any of these programs is going to give you a greater degree of data privacy, i.e. there will be an option, or by default, they will not use the information that you upload into those platforms to train the algorithm. They may use the chats or the conversations that you have with them. ChatGPT, just great all-purpose general AI assistant, incredibly powerful language models. You've got... TSB Bank is deploying ChatGPT Enterprise across some of their workers now. So if TSB Bank have gone through and done the due diligence around ChatGPT Enterprise, there will be guardrails within the usage of, not using customer data and things like that. But for a lot of everyday tasks, it'll be absolutely fantastic. So watch that little journey. Lots of different models, language models that OpenAI has, which makes it quite confusing for the general people to understand which model should I be using within. So you've got, 04 and 01 and 03 and da-da-da. Most of the time, you can just stay with whatever the default option is, which will be ChatGPT 4. And of course, you can use ChatGPT to create images. And it has a whole lot of data connectors, so you can connect in your Google Workspace, your Microsoft 365 account, HubSpot even. So you can work with data from those platforms inside ChatGPT. You can generate insights and ask it questions and do all that kind of stuff. And it has the deep research functionality on paid accounts as well. So remarkably powerful tool. Now probably more than 1 billion weekly active users, right? The next cab off the rank for me is Perplexity. Now, Perplexity was the first platform to have web search. And they're building out a unique set of agents and tools inside Perplexity. Their deep research and Perplexity Labs. Perplexity Labs actually uses multiple different agents to work together to solve a problem, i.e. create a business plan for XYZ. Write me a CEO briefing on this particular topic. Create a dashboard for this health and safety incident report. And it will take 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour to work through the answer when you're using those advanced deep research tools. But they are remarkably accurate, remarkably good, especially when they're working with your data. So I love Perplexity. Then you have Claude from Anthropic, which is widely recognized as kind of the most ethical model, if you like.
Why is it most ethical?
The way it is developed, the guardrails, the policies, the way it manages data privacy, the way it looks for sensitive or information that's been shared with it, like personally identifiable information, and things like that. There are certain things that you just can't ask Claude to do. A lot of people use it for writing code and creating artifacts and dashboards and standing up proof of concepts for little applications and things like that. It's remarkably powerful. Then, of course, you've got so Google Gemini sits within Google Workspace. So you have the same data security protocols as you do within Google Workspace. It has a much bigger context window than many of the other large language models. So a context window is the size of the bucket of information that it can read in one interaction. So as an example, ChatGPT, if you upload a PDF into ChatGPT, PDF of like 1 million words, and you ask it to summarize, it might only read 30,000 or 300,000 words, a third of it, a proportion of that document, and it will fill in the gaps. Whereas Google Gemini will read every word. And so you'll get a much more accurate kind of response from that. So it's got a bigger context window. You've got Notebook LM, which is part of, which uses Google Gemini as well, which is a fantastic research tool. Literally you can upload 20 research reports into Notebook LM and generate a mind map of that content in 30 seconds. And create a podcast with two people, AI people, talking about that content. And you can give it a framing and task and all that kind of stuff. But for someone that might have different learning styles, you want to hear it and take notes or, different ways of learning, that'll be really, really valuable. People might want to listen to a summary of all of the reports on AI adoption in New Zealand from the last 2 years, which I've got all of them, and just listen to a summary of that while you're walking the dog around the park. Those are the kind of, and of course Microsoft Copilot sits within Microsoft 365. It inherits the security protocols that you have within 365. It's integrated into Outlook, Teams, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. And so it's got some remarkably powerful and useful functionality. It's a tool in your toolbox. There will be times, and there are often times with clients that we work with, where the response complexity, the response accuracy, just requires an AI for business tool, something that's more able to deliver outputs in a more robust, trustworthy way or consistent way. And so you've got Copilot Studio that sits on top of that, where you can start building agents and integrating other data sources into those workflows as well. So I use all of them one way or another.
All of them.
I mean, I have to
I have to
know how to, teach people and show people the differences with them during the workshops. But of course, I also wear many hats. So I'm not just running AI New Zealand. I help Elliot run TEDxAuckland. I'm on the board of Business Mentors New Zealand. I run New Zealand Tech Marketers Group. And so I'm living in lots of different tech ecosystems all the time.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you know from AI voice search and AI search, and how businesses now could come up in AI search, and how you can...
Well, we're already starting to see a decline in the share of search volume with Google, right? So it's now, for the first time in a long time, last report I read anyway, below 90%. It's still got like 88% of the search volume. But tools like ChatGPT and Perplexity are starting to chip away. More people are asking the AI agents or the AI assistants the questions that they would have previously asked Google. Now, so pre-AI, you ask Google, can you give me a template for a marketing strategy for a panel beater? And it'll just give you a billion links to other sites that you've got to go in and create a blended search result. So you go into all of these other sites and you kind of pick out all the best bits that are most useful, relevant, interesting to you, and you write those on a page, right? So the AI tool is automating that time-consuming and manual process of creating that blended search result. It's going out to the world and also leaning on its large language model, its training data, to then predict the next word in the sentence and write out what you want to be able to get. And so it's curating all of this information from multiple different sources in a fraction of, maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds, that would have taken you 2 or 3 hours to do before.
So if I'm a business and I'm a small to medium-sized business in New Zealand and I want more people to search for me, or I want to come up in the search results in AI and on ChatGPT.
Yep. So go to ChatGPT and ask it a question that you hope a prospect would that you would come up in. That you ask a question where the results should include your business, right? So what's the best bakery in Timaru, right? Now, and ask ChatGPT that question, right? Now, if your bakery does not show in that list, or you're on number 3 in that list, then go back to ChatGPT and say, hey, this is our bakery. Why did we not appear in that list? And ChatGPT will tell you. Now, then you can say, ChatGPT, can you read our website, http, and give me advice on what we need to do to improve our search ranking in ChatGPT, and it will tell you what to do. You can then print that out and take it to your web developer or your marketing person and go, make sure we've got structured snippets. Make sure we use, we've got our H1 refs and all of that kind of stuff all set up correctly. Make sure that in robots.txt we allow the crawlers from OpenAI and Claude and Perplexity and all of those different tools to read our website so that we come up in there. Maybe it's also looking at what content that we need to, what are the questions that people might ask that could discover our business and create more content that is going to expand the number of conversations on ChatGPT that we would be included in.
That's really cool. That's a really good idea, isn't it? Have you tried that for your business?
Of course I have.
Okay.
And hundreds of others.
And what have you found?
That the advice is practical and sensible, and like I've gone through this exercise. I've done it for our business. We've done it for clients, and we come back a month later and we run the test exercise again to see if they come up top. And we run it on a clean instance of ChatGPT, so there's no memory bias or anything like that from our own. And it's a genuine test to see whether or not we've increased the likelihood that business would appear in discovery. And
the results?
They always come up higher because you're giving it more information.
How can people use AI voice search? I mean, I've got a ChatGPT on my
ChatGPT with advanced voice mode.
Yeah,
is the coolest thing. It's just awesome.
Can you demonstrate?
Should we do it?
Yeah.
Should we do it? Let's. What are we going to ask? What are we going to ask ChatGPT today?
The most common question around how do you become a good podcast guest? And then you can probably show the camera so people can see it.
Hey, ChatGPT.
Hey there, Justin. How's it going? What's on your mind today?
Good. I'm sitting here as a guest on Mina's podcast. What's your best advice for me to be the best guest possible?
Oh, that's exciting. Well, I think the best advice would be to just be yourself and share your insights authentically. Keep it conversational and engaging, and definitely sprinkle in some stories or examples from your own experience. I'm sure you'll do great.
So now I've got a transcription of that conversation, right? So when I've been, as an example, driving to Hamilton for an event, I can have ChatGPT voice mode on the dashboard, and it's listening it's consistently listening to me. And I can have any number of conversations with ChatGPT the entire time that I'm driving to Hamilton on any different topic to help me navigate a particular problem that we're having, research a topic, draft emails, do some research. And when I get to the hotel in Hamilton, I've got this full transcription of everything that we want to do. I can use it as a language teacher if I want to learn Tereo or Spanish or pretty much any language you want, right? So it's this remarkable assistant, colleague, co-worker that you've got sitting in your back pocket that pretty much knows everything.